Hey guys, welcome back, and I hope you're all doing awesome. It's time for more Entitled People stories, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's get into it, friends. Karen screams at me for banning her thieving son. This happened a couple days ago, so I'll do my best to have the conversation exactly as it went, but some may be paraphrased. For context, I work nights in a gas station. About a week ago, a couple of kids, probably no more than 15 or 16 years old, who are semi-regulars, as in I've seen them a few times before but not enough to know them, came in around 2 a.m. and pulled the runner on me with around $30 US in drinks and snacks. As I'm not allowed to chase shoplifters, I do what's required and leave a note for my boss, so she can pull the tapes and post the pictures for us, so we can tell them to get out if they're ever stupid enough to come back. You wouldn't believe how many thieves actually are in fact stupid enough to come back. These two morons in particular. Well, 2 days ago I'm working my only weekly day shift, and who should walk in but my pair of thieves? And who do they have with them? One of their mothers. I immediately buckle down and tell them they need to go now. The following is how the conversation went. The two thieves walk in and I say, you two need to go right now. For what? Boy one asked. We didn't even do anything, the other boy said. You know exactly what you did and you're banned from the store. You can leave on your own feet or leave with a police escort. You choose. They leave and go back to the car waiting for them at the pump. From the window, I can see them talking to the woman in the driver's seat, gesturing and pointing. She gets out of her car and storms into the store. Why the hell did you tell my son and his friend they can't be here? Said Karen. Ma'am, they ran out with nearly $30 in products. We do not allow thievery and they are banned from the store. You are welcome to come and get what they need. But if they're seen on the property, the police are going to be called. No, my son is not a thief. How dare you? Get me a manager, said Karen. Gladly. She doesn't know my manager has less patience for customer crap than I do. Since the store isn't very big, she's already heard this exchange from the office. I bring her out and she says exactly what I did. That's a bold-faced lie. My son is a good boy. You're targeting him and his friends for no reason. You're welcome to come back and watch the tape for yourself, said my manager. Karen says she'll do just that. And once I have proof you're lying, I'll be expecting this little slurs for homosexuals to be fired. The manager brings Karen into the office. I accompany them. Being the assistant, it's both part of my job and a joyful experience to watch Karen's face fall when she finds out her good boy is a rotten thief. The manager plays the tape and Karen's son and his friend are clearly identifiable, as their only means of a disguise was their school track hoodies pulled up over their hair. Folks, they had their freaking names on the back. They were wearing the hoodies as they sat in the car waiting. The Karen was too stunned to speak at first, but eventually remembered how to Karen and stormed out shrieking that she'd be calling corporate. For what? Who knows, but she's calling anyway. I didn't know people could function in society and be this dumb. So I've been working IT for the last 5 years. I talked my way in without any certs or experience, beyond 10 years retail and being with the company for 2 years at that point, and hating my job at the time. Telemarketing, basically. The pandemic has just hit, and a lot of people are working from home. Being in the South, a lot of managers are upset that their employees can work from home, and they're having to host things remote. I get a call right around lunchtime and the issue is that the user's webcam isn't working. I remote into the computer immediately because the majority of our users are stubborn and willing to do the bare minimum and want us to do everything for them. I'm fine with this. Last position was way worse. I'm looking at a Zoom meeting window with the black box where the video feed should be. Sir, is there anything covering the lens? No. And he goes on about how IT ruins everything just when he's used to it. Alright, let me look around a bit and see if I can fix this. So I go into the Zoom meeting settings and the computer sees the webcam. I turn it off and back on and it is still just a black box. The user's name is just disappearing when I turn on the webcam. After that, I close the program and reopen it. Still no changes. I then go into Device Manager and disable and attempt to update the driver. Says that I have the latest drivers. Still no changes. Download the HP Image Assistant and run it. There are a massive number of needed updates, but nothing for the webcam. I put that off because the user is very upset that he's missing his mandatory meeting that requires he has his webcam on. I'm hitting roadblock after roadblock, and I'm getting frustrated with this political ranting. I don't know what's going on. Everything looks good, but we're just getting this black box on the video feed. Finally, I ask him, can you please take your fingernail and see if there's something covering the lens maybe? He responds with a fine. I hear him lean in his chair over the phone, pick something up, and the SOB opens the lid to his laptop, the black box turning into a video of an idiot, and he says no, there's nothing on the lens, and closes it again. It was closed on an HP slide dock on his desk. I muted my microphone and scream in frustration. Barely holding it together, I inform him, Sir, the lid has to be open for your webcam to work. Oh, they just said it had to be on. He opens the laptop lid and then proceeds to complain that it's not showing him in the image. Sir, it has to be pointed at you. I wished him a good day and disconnected. I can't imagine being that stupid. I call my manager because I'm legit concerned that this person is around heavy and dangerous equipment, and I'm told to let it go. 6 months later, I'm having to provision his accounts because he's been promoted to part supervisor. It's been about 2 years since this happened, and I've yet to see his termination paperwork come through. But whenever someone apologizes to me about being too needy, I always use this as the example of the worst, and tell them never to hesitate to call the IT help desk, because I would rather help them than ever speak to that person again. I don't give the user's name or position. I only tell them, you're not bad at all. You've done more than what many would do. This is just beyond technologically challenged. I really do wonder how this guy gets by, and also how the hell he got promoted to being a part supervisor. Entitled person called the cops because I am in my garden. So a while ago, our family had a few friends over for a barbecue. I was 12 at this time, so I was happy that their children, friend 1 and friend 2, were the same age as my brother and me. We have a pretty big garden, so we play tag, hide and seek, etc. Eventually, we start throwing water balloons and play with any water we can find. Naturally, we are screaming and shouting, because we're having fun, not because of hypothermia. We play for a short time until we hear an entitled person shouting from over the hedge. Shut the f*** up, they said. We laugh about it, but take no further notice. We just assume they aren't talking to us. We continue playing until we hear them yell again. Shut the f*** up and go home. We didn't know what to do, so we asked our parents. They said it's our garden, so we should just be allowed to do what we want, right? Anyway, the entitled person continues to yell some things I would rather not type, but it was along the lines of, shut up, I'm playing a card game with my kid. We understood they want some peace and quiet, so we play quieter. After another minute, we hear entitled person yell again. I'm calling the cops. At this point, our parents heard and went over to pay them a little visit. After a few minutes of procrastination, the entitled person did call the cops, who were incredibly helpful, and just said the same thing. Their garden, their rules. Am I the a-hole for trapping a stranger in my parking spot as my daughter needed to pee? I live behind a popular station, and cars normally park on my road to commute to work or to pick up people from the station. Because of this, parking is limited, causing some people to park illegally across driveways or on double yellow lines. Before the lockdown, this one woman took to parking on her private driveway while she waited for her friend. The driveway is obviously part of my garden, but directly behind the station. Each time she did it, I asked her not to because we needed our parking space and it's our private property. She would tell me she wouldn't be long and would normally be gone after 10 minutes. I've caught her doing this 3 times and had seen her on our security system 11 times. Today I left in the car to pick up my daughter from nursery. When I returned, she was waiting for her friend in my driveway. I flashed my headlights, but she indicated that she would be a few minutes. This is where I think I messed up. My 3-year-old was in the car and needed to pee badly. My 7-month was crying as they wanted to be held. I pulled up across the front of my driveway and got the kids out of the car, then went into the house. As the lady realized what I was doing, she opened her car door and asked me to move my car. I ignored her and went into the house. My 3-year-old made it to the toilet just in time, and the baby calmed down after a cuddle. By now, I could see the lady's friend had arrived and she honked her horn so I would move my car. I ignored her, called my husband, and told him what happened. He said he was 15 minutes away and he would move the car when he got back. She came to the door, knocking loudly and asking me to move my car. I told her via the kitchen window she would need to wait 15 minutes, as I wasn't putting the kids back in the car to move it, and she shouldn't have parked on my driveway. I was a bit of a condescending twat in the way I spoke to her, but I didn't swear and wasn't blatantly rude, but I was a dick. She lost her mind and swore and hit the door. It was locked and she couldn't get in. I told her to calm the F down as she was upsetting my kids. She said she was calling the police, and I said go ahead, but with all that's going on, it's a waste of their time. Plus, I had a security camera that would show I asked her to move, plus the other times she parked there. My husband arrived 20 minutes later and moved the car so she could leave. To answer a few recurring questions and comments, I'm in the UK. While parking in someone else's driveway is not a criminal offense, it does count as trespassing, which is a civil offense. With stuff like this, we have to call the non-emergency number, and the police will respond if any police officers are free in the area. It's at the bottom of their to-do list with everything that's going on. Me parking across my driveway is illegal, as it's a double yellow line. I could have gotten in trouble for that no matter the reason. I saw comments about getting something to block our driveway. We are going to use a chain with a no parking sign on it, and get an automated gate a little later on. Moving the chain each time we leave or park will be annoying, but it will help protect our property. Honestly, I don't even see why it's a question whether or not OP was the a-hole in this situation. Someone decided to repeatedly use OP's private driveway as their own public parking spot, and what else was OP supposed to do if there was no place to legally park nearby? So it sounds like OP's only choices would be to do what she did, or to just keep driving around until this person left, which would just be letting this person win if you ask me. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for today. Drop a like if you enjoyed, I'd really appreciate it, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I'm out of here, have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.